Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Now at 6:30, we're waking up to a few flakes in Lexington this morning. We'll show you how the weather could potentially slow down that trip home for the holidays. Folks already lining up in search of deep discounts for the start of the holiday shopping season. And a Thanksgiving wish come true for a young boy recovering after a serious crash. We'll have more on these stories and breaking news as it happens on WKYT This Morning. Good morning to you and welcome in. Bill Bryant has the day off. I'm Rebecca Smith. Happy Turkey Day to you, whether you're headed out for work, maybe you're coming back from a shift, or you're tending to the turkey, or just hanging out with the family. We hope you're having an awesome morning. And for the first look at the weather, like we mentioned, we have some snow. Let's turn it over to Micah.
Or working. Yeah.
Yeah, as I said.
Working like us. Yeah, that's all right. We'll see our families later on. It'll be good to go. If you are up this morning, some of us in the west, there we are holding on to decreasing snow big time. All you have are flurries left over. What you see on the ground is what you get. As most of us have sat coating to about an inch. Now we're starting to see that activity pick up the past hour and a half down toward the southeast. But I would expect this to kind of fall apart as we work our way into the next couple of hours. Got a little piece of energy to the north, but that won't do anything. 32 degrees there in Richmond, 29 in Frankfort. It's not really cold enough to get those road temperatures down. You got to really, from the past few days, you got to really drop those temperatures, teens and 20s, cool those roads off. So I'm just looking at wet roadways, not so much slick roadways. 36 by the afternoon, 20 overnight there for the shoppers. We'll go over that latest forecast coming up in about 10 minutes.
The wintry mix that's falling this morning already has caused at least one problem on the roadways. A pickup truck overturned on I-75 in Rockcastle County at about 3 this morning. The driver told police he lost control. The truck ended up on its top. The Mount Vernon Fire Department says they had to block one lane near the Mount Vernon exit for cleanup. It's now back open. The driver had some minor injuries, we're told, and road crews are out salting the area now. Well, AAA estimates that 46 million Americans will travel at least 50 miles this holiday weekend. And while you may not encounter too much traffic out there this morning, we did find plenty of folks headed home for the holidays last night. 90% of travelers decided to drive this holiday. One driver says timing was in their favor when it came to the weather.
I'm glad it's this week and not last week. Last week would have been brutal trying to drive.
Many people who flew into flight delays because of a winter storm so far this morning. Bluegrass Airport does not report any delays or cancellations. Well, today some people will take a break from the dinner table. Of course, to hit the stores, you no longer have to actually wait until tomorrow to find the deals. Many stores will open today, some of them as early as this morning, and we've got a crew that's at the Meijer in Hamburg, and we're going to try to head on over to them in a few minutes when we can get back that direction, but definitely want to pack your patience as you're headed out there. Some Black Friday shoppers are ready to line up for the deals. This tent, we have some video, I believe, for you, has been set up at the Best Buy in Hamburg. Look at that. At the time, the guy was the only one there. He does have some company now, we're told. He says he is willing to camp out in the cold if it means he gets one big ticket item.
Get the TV for $199, you can't beat. I mean, there ain't that kind of deals around, so might as well grab it while you can.
Those in line will not have to wait until Black Friday itself. Best Buy will open at 5 o'clock. We have a full list of Thanksgiving and Black Friday hours for stores around the Bluegrass on our website, WKYT.com. Lexington Police and the city's traffic department have announced their plan to keep shoppers safe this holiday season. They say they've already changed the timing of the traffic lights and posted signs about the traffic plan around Fayette Mall and Hamburg Pavilion, also downtown Lexington. Extra police officers will be in the Hamburg and Fayette Mall areas to handle traffic and try to prevent crime. Police say, of course, lock your doors and put anything valuable in the trunk.
We'd also ask you to pay attention to your surroundings. If you see something that just doesn't seem right, call us, move to a safer location. An officer will be dispatched out to check out that area.
Okay. Traffic officials estimate that 70,000 cars will use Nicholasville Road every day through Sunday. New on WKYT this morning, unwelcome start for Thanksgiving for multiple drivers. Someone slashed the tires on nearly 10 cars in a parking lot. Police discovered it about 3 o'clock this morning on Hedgewood Drive. Not a good way to wake up people. Not all of those people whose cars were damaged even know about it yet because they may not have gotten up to discover this. Police say they expect to get more calls in the morning when folks start to wake up. On this Thanksgiving Day, protesters in Ferguson, Missouri continue to demand justice after a Missouri grand jury chose not to indict a police officer in the shooting death of an 18-year-old. Crowds are getting smaller and growing more peaceful with each passing day. Susan McGinnis has more from Ferguson.
As members of the National Guard secured the Ferguson Police Department with weapons at their sides, crowds of protesters braved the snow, armed with signs and flags in honor of Michael Brown. Others marched down the streets, creating traffic disruptions. But the scene was a far cry from the destruction and chaos of the first 2 nights after a grand jury decided not to indict Ferguson police officer Darren Wilson for Brown's death.
It should definitely be peaceful, but at the same time, that rioting and that looting is also a necessary evil. It's brought awareness and brought attention.
Here in Ferguson, demonstrations were mostly peaceful overnight with only small protests. Police and the National Guard prevented major flare-ups, but demonstrations continue to spill over into other cities. In Oakland, California, protesters ran through the streets and smashed windows last night. People laid in the streets in Los Angeles, and officers arrested protesters who refused to disperse.
One of us has been harmed, and therefore all of us has been harmed.
Back in Ferguson, some are giving thanks the situation in their community is more peaceful. Frank Roberts came here from New York, giving up his Thanksgiving to support Ferguson and the Brown family.
Me sacrificing today, it's really a tribute to them. And that's what I see all the young protesters who are down here today.
Many protesters say they'll be here as long as it takes to get justice. Susan McGinnis, CBS News, Ferguson, Missouri.
The Department of Justice is conducting its own Ferguson investigation, which we're told could take several months. An Australian cricket player has died 2 days after being struck on the head by a cricket ball during a match. The Australian team doctor says 25-year-old Philip Hughes never regained consciousness following his injury on Tuesday. Hughes died this morning from brain damage. He was just 3 days shy of his 26th birthday. Very, very sad. Well, 13 days ago, a Lexington family did not know if their 14-year-old would make it home or not. He's now able to receive a wonderful surprise just in time for Thanksgiving. Mason Wade, an 8th grader at Lexington Christian Academy, suffered critical injuries. An SUV slammed into him as he tried to run across Man o' War Boulevard. He spent a week at UK Children's Hospital and then came to Cardinal Hill for rehabilitation. He was supposed to stay there for 2 weeks, but after just 3 days, doctors answered Mason's wish to go home for Thanksgiving.
He wants to cried. Just tears of joy. We were just really, really excited, and Mason just was absolutely thrilled.
Thank you for the prayers, and I feel like good because I get to go home.
Good for him. Mason's still working on speaking and getting his thoughts across, but he is expected to make a full recovery. We are happy to report he may even get to return to school as soon as January. Well, many stores opened their doors this morning, welcoming shoppers in for search of deals. WKYT's Whitney Wetzel live at the Meijer in Hamburg, where shoppers already cashing in.
Hey, good morning, everyone. We are here at the Meijer in Hamburg, and I'm willing to bet that most of the people here probably woke up early this morning and thought, I'm not going to take a shower, I'm not going to brush my teeth, I'm not going to put on any makeup, I'm just going to run into Meijer, get some good deals, and then go home and go back to sleep. But unfortunately for them, we showed up, and here they are in this line here. We actually moved over to the electronics department. People here are waiting for things like iPods, iPads, video games, digital cameras, things like that. This all started at 6 this morning, and this kicks off 3 days of holiday savings here at Meijer, which will continue through Saturday. Most of the deals are for electronic items like many other stores, but it's also important to remember that Meijer is one of only a few grocery stores that's going to be open on Thanksgiving Day. So if you need to run out to get a couple of last-minute things for dinner tonight, they do have some deals on Thanksgiving food items as well. Probably the best one that they have right now is on turkeys. 75% off fresh turkeys, not frozen. So if you happen to have forgotten the most important Thanksgiving dinner item, you may have just lucked out because you can still get one, and probably for a much cheaper price. So whether you are shopping or eating today, I do hope that you have a happy and most importantly a safe Thanksgiving. We are live in Meijer. Whitney Wetzel, WKYT.
All right, thanks so much, Whitney. Sounds like we caught some folks unawares this morning. Well, several organizations are stepping up to help those less fortunate. Broadway Christian Church is hosting a community Thanksgiving dinner from 5 until 7. Malone's and Sal's and the Lansdowne shops will serve lunch. You can come out between 11 and 2 o'clock. The Salvation Army will serve meals from noon till 1. You don't need a reservation, and Lundy's is catering the meal. Central Christian Church offering free Thanksgiving dinners. That's from 5 till 6:30, but they do need volunteers to come out from 4 to 7. If you're interested, you can sign up at godsnet.info. If you happen to be frying your turkey today, here's a good way to get rid of that used cooking oil. Students at Henry Clay High School in Lexington need that oil for a science project. Tomorrow from 10 until 2, you can drop off your used cooking oil at the school on Fontaine Road. Henry Clay students plan to use the fuel or the oil to make biodiesel fuel. The weather is clearing up in New York City just in time for Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. As Don Champion reports, people lining up early just to get a glimpse of new balloons and floats.
The stars of the show are blown up and ready to go.
This is the order of the parade.
The 88th annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade will usher in the holiday season today.
We're just looking at the balloons.
Little 5-year-old Justin watched the balloons get inflated last night. The tradition is almost as popular as the main event. This year, 49 giant and novelty balloons will fly over the parade. Among the new ones, the friendly locomotive Thomas the Tank Engine.
I like all the balloons because they're so awesome, but I like Snoopy the best.
The parade route is about 2.5 miles long. Organizers say about 3.5 million people will be here to see it all in person.
Rain and snow dogged New York City Wednesday, but the weather is expected to cooperate today. 50 million people are expected to watch the parade on television. Don Champion for CBS News, New York.
Always a good time. You may notice some familiar faces this year in that parade. The Paul Lawrence Dunbar High School Marching Band will perform in the parade this morning. They are among only 11 lucky bands chosen for the honor from across the country. If you would like to watch them, you're expected to appear about 11 o'clock this morning. The time now is 6:41. Let's get a check of traffic to see how things are moving on this Turkey Day. Not really hearing of too many issues, even though we've had a few snow flurries out there, not seeming to create too many issues out on the roads. I-75 and I-64, the northern split in Lexington, looking pretty good. We did have an issue earlier with a tractor trailer that kind of landed on its top, but we're told that they're salting that area in particular, a trouble spot. More news from WKYT on the way. A New York family might find it hard to eat turkey for their Thanksgiving dinner this year after they've actually befriended a wild turkey that visits their backyard.
And we're looking outside, seeing the snow pick up in the southeast. We'll see how long this sticks around. Shouldn't be too much longer. I'll break down that forecast for you going into the afternoon and also for your shopping weather. That comes up next.